I think personally for me, this message is going out for our young parents. So if you're a young parent, I want you guys to gather up here. Let's talk. So I just want to ask you guys, you still remember how you felt when your parents, told you what to study in school? When your parents actually decided your dreams for you. Some of you wanted to be musicians, some of you wanted to write, some of you wanted to dance and paint. But they said, no, be a doctor, be an engineer. That's where the money is. And, look, some of you followed the path. A lot of us did. It's only some of us that were very stubborn that didn't go in that path. But most young children then followed what their parents said. And we can actually testify to that. Not because it's what we wanted, but that's what our parents expected of us. And yeah, we have to listen to them. That's what the society said. Now, years later, you are the parents now. Me and you that suffered that same thing. We are now the parents. And somehow we have forgotten how it felt. Like when your mom told you not to play football again, when your parent told you not to sing again, not to be a musician again, and they forced you out of it. We completely forgot all those pains, all those times when you're just crying that place in your room. You started being moody. You started not going out with your friends anymore. We just, somehow forgot. And now you're repeating the same cycle. You are doing the same thing to your children. You send your children to holiday lessons that they didn't ask you for. Like it's always a repetition. They are just moving from the same routine. After school, you send them back to holiday lessons. Like all their life is just going to school. And they never asked you for this. They didn't even feel happy about it. Some of these children wanted to spend time with their parents. They wanted to spend time at home, play. But you decide you send them to extramural classes, weekends when they're supposed to be at home, enjoying themselves with their parents, doing one or two things, playing with their friends, learning how to cook, learning how to fix things with their own hands, exploring new skills that school doesn't teach. But no, you said no. They have to go to extramural classes. They need to learn, as though learning, when you read all this book, you become something. It make you Dangote immediately. You once hated these things. You remember, if you can remember so much, you so much hated these things. You just wanted time with your parents. Yes, some of us, we just wanted to spend time with our parents, or to try something different. But sometimes they told us that the things that we are trying to do is not important at the moment. That what is important is go to school, go and do this, go and learn this. Now this is the bitter truth. Some of us those days, we end up becoming doctors, we end up becoming lawyers, we end up becoming engineers. We built a life through it. Yes, it helped. It was bringing money. We make a living out of it. But deep down, you know you are not happy, that something was missing. You know that something was taken away from you. Like every time you just open your social media, you see a musician singing. And you remember all those days you were composing song. You just feel like, oh, am I where I'm supposed to be? Like there's something that is still missing within me. You always feel that thing. And that's why sometimes some of you go to work, you go to your workplace, you feel so exhausted, you come back every day. It's just like repeating cycles. You are not happy in your job, even though the money is coming. But you know deep down, you're not happy. Because that is not your dream. That is not what you signed up for. That is not what it is borrowed. That path you followed was borrowed because your parents pushed you into doing that. And it never really fit in. We can testify that. Now your children stand before you now, full of ideas, wonders and purpose, and you're about to make the same mistake. You're about to push them into the same thing you felt so bad about. So instead of you helping your children now to discover who they are, you are forcing them into what you think they should be. The same you that was crying yesterday that your parents forced you to become what you don't want to be. The same you today is also forcing them into what you think is better for them, because that is what is in trend, and that is what is trendy. That's what the society is doing now. Everybody is doing it. I see the love for tech now. Tech is the future. Yes, no denials. Tech is the future. But what you need to understand, tech is not here to replace dreams. That that you are pushing your children to go and learn tech. Everybody go to learn tech, go into tech, blah, 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 blah. That is what's trending. Tech is never here to replace the dreams of your children, but it's here to enhance it. So if your child wants to be a musician, let him learn tech, not for the purpose of quitting his music career, but learning tech to enhance that. Okay, you want to use tech to enhance, to become a better musician. That is what you guys should be looking towards. So if your child wants to be a doctor, don't push them into tech just because it's trending. Instead, show them how tech can make them a better doctor. Every child was sent here, this earth. You see, anybody you see on this earth was sent here for a purpose. So your role as a parent is not to choose that path for them, but to help them discover it. So if your child is showing traits of being a musician, guide them in that path. Maybe that's their sole mission. Maybe they are here to entertain. Maybe they are here to use their voice to sing people to God or whatever. I don't know. Listen, watch, and pay attention. Raise them with intention, not projections. That is why sometimes it looks like the Westerners are better than us, because they pay more attention to their children. That's why you see a child at a very tender age is already learning how to swim. Because at a younger age, the child is already showing traits that he wants to swim, and the parent is already pushing them towards that. You see somebody, learning martial art or becoming a scientist, and you see that parents getting them some, apparatus, whatever, to, enhance them at that tender age. Why can't we do the same here in Africa? Why are we different? Why must we always follow the trend? Why must we always follow what is trending? Oh, this is what is trending, and we want to push everybody towards it. And the truth is that success is not how much you earn. No. Success is not always about how much you have earned in your pocket, but how much you have become. You understand? What purpose, what value have you added to the society? Because most of the time, some of those people, they push into doing what they never want to do. They end up not amounting to much in that field they find themselves, because that's not their place of specialties. That's why sometimes they will become a doctor, nobody will ever hear their name. That's why they will become engineers, nobody will ever hear their name. But if you have allowed that child to follow the path, the purpose why he or she was sent into this, just a few years, the person's voice will be everywhere. People will recognize him because he was going to speak differently. He's going to do it differently because that is why he is or she was sent here. This is a quick reminder to our parents. Let's remember, in case we have forgotten how it felt those days, I am calling our senses back. Let's remember. One love.